Hello everyone, welcome to the 39th session of our course Internet Fundamentals and Web Tools. So, in this session we are going to look much deeper look into the forms and input controls of the forms, and if time permits we will cover the fonts and backgrounds also. Okay. So far we have discussed about HTML, and in our last session we saw about lists like nested lists and few more things about lists, like what are the attributes for lists, and if the nested list an unordered list is placed into another unordered list, how it will look like, and also an unordered list an ordered list is put into an unordered list. So, these are the things we have seen, and we saw different types of unordered lists like disk, which will show disk and which will show circle and square, and like that ordered list also we have seen the types like 1 and capital A, and so how to make the ordered lists starting with capital capital A B C D, like or small a b c d or lowercase a b c d, and how to do it with Roman letters. So, these are all the things we have seen, and also there is an attribute for the list or list item or the li attribute, which will make us to put a value to the list item. That is, if the list item is having the number if the list item is placed in the 4th place of the list, it will be numbered usually 4, but still we can make it a value equal to some 50 or 90 or whatever we need, like after it will be like 1 2 3 and whatever the value we put for the list item, which is 90, then 1 2 3 90 91 92, something like that it will go on. And we have also started to look at the forms. So, what is a form and all we have seen, and we saw one single line input control also we have seen. Now, we are going to look at the password input controls. So, single line input controls we already covered. So, single line input control is the input which can be specified in a single line, and password input control we are going to see now. So, before going to the input control in password input control, we are going to see what is the what are the attributes that are associated with input attributes. So, one is type attribute. Type attribute indicates the type of the input control, and for text input control it will be set to text. So, we saw about text input control. So, it is the type should be specified to text, and name name is used to give the name to the control which is sent to the server to be recognized and get the value. So, the name will be used by the web page. So, it is not about showing it something to the user. The name will not be shown to the user, but name will be used inside the web page and to send it to the server. So, like suppose we have 10 input controls. So, out of these 10 input controls, which one do you want? So, we will specify with name, and value. Value can be used to provide the initial value inside the control. So, what is the value of the inside the input attribute? What should be the value? Like initially there can be some default values we can specify, or we can simply specify enter the username here, something like that. The value can be there, or the value can be anything default. So, suppose for example, a government application form is having the state. So, state name by default it can be Andhra Pradesh, or it can be Telangana, or the location name can be by default Hyderabad. So, if we want we can change it, but by default, so it will avoid the default names will avoid the user to enter any user defined his own data. So, default things are like the entries which are they are mostly used. So, if we want we can change the default value. And size. Size allows you to specify width and width of the text input control in the in terms of characters. So, how many characters length you want to show the input window or input size, and max length. So, max length allows you to specify the maximum number of characters a user can enter in the text box. So, a text box is there which is of characters 10, but the size we can show only 10 characters in a text box, that is called a size. So, if we want we can increase the size to 20 characters. So, if the 10 characters text box is like this, if the 20 characters text box will be like this, much bigger, but max length is like if 10 characters size is there, 10 characters will be shown. If the max length is 100, we can enter 100 characters, but only 10 characters will be shown. So, the other characters will be pushed on the left or right side depending on where we kept our cursor or the mouse pointer. So, that is about the input attributes of the input. So, we will see the password input controls now. Okay, then the example for password, we will write an example for password input controls. So, right from the beginning we will write like HTML, close HTML, head, close head, inside head we will write title. So, title I am going to put as input controls. After the head there is one I am going to put body. Close the body tag. Inside the body tag we need to have form and close the form tag. Here what do we need to have? So, we need to have a input, give a tab and write input. So, which one do you want? Input as the text input we want, the password input we want. So, the type should be password. Okay. Type is equal to type is equal to double quotes, I am specifying it as password. So, as the I am not we need not specify anything in the as the content. So, I am closing the tag here. So, I will save it as I will save this particular file as input controls as a HTML file. Save this. So, it is saved. Then come here, Control O, open this input controls. We say input control, this is the password, this is the space to enter the password. Suppose if I type something, then it is showing as dots. So, let me show it in bigger way. So, it is showing all dots. So, whatever I type, it does not show anything. Suppose I type anything meaningful also, it will not show anything. Okay. But how to know that this is a password thing? So, I am what do we need to put in front of this? I will say enter password and colon. So, I am going to save this and go here and then refresh with F5, then it is saying enter password. So, here I can enter the password, but without username it is very less likely that without username we will not be having. So, I am going to put enter username. So, what is the username? We already know that input type is equal to text. So, here close the stack, Control S for saving, go to the browser and just refresh. But see, enter username and enter password, it is coming, it came side by side. So, in order to make it in order to make it to come in a new line, what do we need to do? We need to enter a line break. So, here BR we will keep. So, now if we refresh, it has come in a proper way, like enter username, there is one space like username and password. I am going to put it. So, I am writing something as password. Okay. So, this is how we can enter name and here we will see few more things like the name and the value. So, here what is the value that we would like to give for username? Value. So, value I am going to put it for default, by default this the value should come as username, and password, even if we put some value we do not know, but I am still going to put the value as equal to password. So, I am going to save it and then go to the browser, refresh. So, when I refresh, so as soon as I open this file, automatically this username has come and the password has come. So, this is by default it came. If we want, we can just edit this username. You can close, delete this, and we can write our username. Similarly, password also we can edit. So, that is the default value will be given like that. Here, to know the to make the web page know about this particular element, we will put something as name equal to some username field or user underscore name, and here name equal to password. So, here does not make any sense or it does not make any difference for us, because it will be same. So, the name field will be valid, or will be we will see it in the subsequent sessions, but subsequent slides, what is the use of the name field and all, but this is how we can specify the name field. So, we know now the input attributes and the password input control. And how do we write a multiple input controls? So, multiple input controls are the things where we need to enter some description in it, like when preparing our resume or when submitting for job, they will be likely asking briefly explain about your career. So, we will be writing it in a career, like what are the projects that we worked on, and what are all the places that we worked on, and what are the technologies that we know, and all these things. Or they might be asking about the goal. So, what is your goal, or what is your objective or career objective, what is the career objective we need to specify. So, all those things we need to write in a multiple lines. So, for all these things the we need to use some tag as text area. So, it is the multi-line input control which is text area. So, that is what we will see here. So, here we will see the text area. There are two attributes like rows and columns. So, how many rows we need to show and how many columns we need to show, and the name is this one. So, this text area is also having the name. So, this one also we will see. In the same page we will say description, but before description what I am going to do is to give a line break, and then description. Let us have one in each line, so that it will be easy to read. And here text area is the one, and rows I will put it as 5 rows, and columns or calls equal to I will put as 20 columns. So, and what else can be given? Name is equal to I will give as description, okay, and there is some description we can enter, which is by default text area, and the description I am going to put it as enter content here, okay. I am going to save it, go to the browser, and then click on refresh button. So, it is showing enter content here. So, the indentation, the formatting and all may not be properly correct. So, to make it correct, what I am going to do is like I am going to give a break here also. So, that let us see how it will look like now. So, the description and enter content here. So, it came properly, like after the description it came, or any we can enter anything here. So, we can delete everything and we can just keep on writing, hello, my name is something, and again I write lot of things like this, my job and my qualifications. So, there is a lot of description we can write. So, it is showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, total 5 rows are there and columns are 20 columns are there, we can actually count, and if you want more we can actually increase or decrease the size of it. Okay. And we have seen multi-line input control, and even before multi-line input control we can I would like to show you the size and max length of also. So, here the input control, the input for input control, let us have the size also. Size is equal to, I will put 10, then let us see how it will change. Only 10 characters we need to have. See, here it is showing only 10, but still username, suppose if I write whatever I write, it is just it is just going like this. I mean, it is just the string is growing, but actually the box itself, the size of the box itself is same as 10 characters. And max length also we can put, max length equal to, I will put 15. So, the maximum length can be only 15. I saved it and came to the browser and clicked it. So, here, so whatever I write, it is not, I am pressing something on the keyboard, but it is not able to write. So, if I remove something here, then I will have extra space. So, the maximum length of the string that we can write in this text box is 15. So, this is how we can use size and max length. Okay. And then the next point we are going to see the checkbox control. So, how to use the checkbox control? So, checkboxes are used when more than one option is required to be selected. So, they are also created using HTML input tag, but the type of attribute is set to checkbox. So, checkboxes are like there are multiple options, there are more than one option where we need to choose one or more in those options, then it is better to use checkbox, like the preferred location to join. So, usually they will be giving, if in a big multinational company where it will have branches across India, if we are joining there, then our preferred locations they might be asking. So, in that condition we will be giving, I mean in that condition they will be giving an options like Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, and Vijayawada, Vizag, like this. So, Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi we might not be interested, but we may be interested anywhere in Hyderabad, Vijayawada or Vizag. So, we will be clicking more than one option there. So, in that condition we will be using this checkbox controls. So, this will be used, this will be created by using the same tag as input tag, whatever that we were using for password, whatever that we were using for single line input. So, the same thing we are going to use, but the type will be checkbox. So, the name we need to give, how we need to specify it is like the type equal to checkbox, and name we can give it as maths, physics and all. Okay. The name will be the actual content. So, let us try this. So, I am going to have here another input. So, before another input, like let me remove all these things. here inside the form attribute have an input attribute type equal to, what is the type? Checkbox, CHECK box. So, if we simply write checkbox and then so we can give a name equal to maths. Here the description I will give as maths and then close the input, sorry, so close the input here itself. Like this I can create different attributes like the subject. So, I will create subject. So, which subject you want to select. So, I will give a line break statement here. Physics, chemistry. So, I am going to save it, go to the browser, click on refresh. So, here it did not appear. So, why it did not appear? Because it did not create any, we might have to, sorry, we might have to close it. So, because we did not write anything here. So, this is now let us go here, refresh. So, subject we need to select one or more subjects. If we select maths, physics and even chemistry also, we can select like this. So, more than one option we will be able to select. So, here everything came in a single line. If you want in a separate line, so wherever we want the break statement, we need to give a break statement. So, I entered break statements. Now, it will come in a proper way like subject maths, physics, chemistry. So, what are all the subjects that we would like to take, and so this is about the checkbox control and the radio button. So, radio button or the radio buttons are used when out of when out of many options just one option is required to be selected. Here it is like selecting lot of things from selecting more than one thing from a pool of things in the checkbox, but here in radio button it will be only one, just like in our multiple choice questions. So, even multiple choice lot of options will be there, but only one is valid. So, we have to select only one option. So, that is how this radio button will work, and the same input button or input tag, sorry, the same input tag will be used to create the attribute, create the radio button control, and we need to change the attribute of the type to radio. So, if we set it to radio, then the subject then the entire form will be changed to the radio button. So, here we already have the type equal to checkbox. So, we will create few more things here, like let us try it again, because to be clear. So, input type equal to radio and name equal to, I will give it as subject. So, what is the name that we would like to use, and here maths, and also the value we need to give it as maths. This one I am going to copy and paste some 2 times, so that I will create the value as one I will make it for physics, one I will use for chemistry, okay, and let me have it physics, chemistry, okay. So, now which subject, which one subject. So, here select, I am changing this text, one subject, maths, physics or chemistry. So, here this is how we can write a radio button, and everything should not come in a single line. So, I will put a break statement. That is it. Come to the browser and then refresh the window. So, if you see here, they are square boxes, now turn to the circle boxes. So, now I want to select maths, and then I would like to select physics, then maths is deselected, and when I selected chemistry, then maths and physics got deselected. So, whatever that we want to select, we can select only one thing, and suppose I want to have another radio button group. So, here I selected one thing, and again select there can be, I will make it like most preferred subject, and then I will say second preferred subject. But here how to see everything is in one form, and if we have to select two groups, then what do we need to do? The name we can change. Suppose here so we can change the subject to the name of the subject to subject 2. So, if I save this and then refresh, then sorry, line break missing here. If I put a line break, or I will just put horizontal line, so that let us see how it looks like. So, select most preferred subject, these are the 3 options, and select second preferred subject. So, if I select maths, and then I can select physics here. Suppose I have all the things as subject, all the subjects as same, and here I need to put the values differently, save, and come to the browser. If I refresh, then it will be like, it should be all the buttons are related to the same group now, because of the name that we gave as subject. So, here the subject means the group of the radio buttons. So, in this group we can select one. So, as we selected all the as we created all the radio buttons with the same name, then they all came under the same group. So, if we want to change the group, we need to put another name. So, I am putting select subject 1 or subject 1. So, that everything will be it will make 2 groups. So, this one is one group and this one is another group, and if I can select maths here and I can select physics here. So, this group will not affect the other group. And one more thing we so next thing that we are going to see is about select box. So, select box also called drop down box, which provides option to list down various options in the form of drop down list. So, from where user can select one or more options. So, select options are like the drop down boxes. So, if we can select one thing from the drop down box. The radio buttons are also, we can see the radio buttons usually I mean everything will appear on the screen, but select suppose in the usually when selecting the address or when selecting some when we go for the customer care website. So, where you are, it will be asking which country you are from and then which state you are from. Then in the drop down menu we will select India, then which state you are from, then in drop down menu we can select Andhra Pradesh, then in drop down menu again another drop down menu will come like which city you are from. So, if we have all the options at once, so all the country names, all the city names, all the state names at once, then it looks so bad or it looks clumsy. So, what do is we will create drop down menus for all these items. So, how to create a drop down menu? By using a form control called select. So, we will see the example now. So, this as you see on the screen, the select name will be select is the keyword or the tag name for this, and name if we give it as drop down, then it will be a drop down menu will come, and options option is another tag which where we can enter the drop down menus, drop down items. Okay, this one we will try to see now. I am going to delete the form now. So, let us have this form copied here. Select name will be drop down. So, here we have two options, maths and physics, and the values of these are maths and physics. We have one more attribute called selected, which will select this particular option by default. So, let us save this, then go to the browser, and when we refresh, so these are the two options, and we can have one more option actually. So, I will write chemistry, save, go to the browser, refresh, and chemistry came. And if we move this selected to physics, let us see what will happen now. So, automatically physics got selected. So, by that became the default option. So, this is how we can have select box controls. So, select boxes, it will have lot of attributes associated with it. The name which is used to give the name of the control which is sent to the server to be recognized, and size can be used to present as so what is the size of the box. So, this can be used to present the scrolling list box. Okay. And multiple. So, if we say multiple, then it allows the user to select multiple items from menu, not just a single item. So, we can select multiple items, and option will have different attributes. So, those attributes are the value, selected, and label. So, the value is the value that can be used if an option in a select box is selected. So, what value we need to use when the item is selected? So, that is the value of the option and selected. So, this specifies this option should be initially selected, the value initially selected value when the web page loads. So, whenever the web page loads, this becomes the default selected value. And a label. So, label is an alternative way of labeling the options. So, there is another way to label the options. So, that is by using an attribute called label. So, we will see these things now, not everything, like multiple we will see first. Okay. I will select like space multiple and control S for saving, go to the browser and F5 for refreshing. So, the see as we as I selected as I typed multiple there, here we can actually select press control and click it, you can select multiple things. So, our interests, so what are all your hobbies, we can list down all the hobbies and keep on we can select more than one thing like this. Earlier in the drop down menu we will be having only one thing can be selected, and so selected we have seen this selected option also, this selected attribute. So, we can have more selected options I think by default. Save, go to the this, if I refresh, when I refresh it is selected physics and chemistry. So, this is how we can have the select box and file upload box. So, how do we upload a file in the web browser, we will see now. So, file upload box enables the website visitor to upload a local file. So, this is created using the input element, but the type attribute is set to file. So, the attributes are below this we can see the example like form input type equal to file and name is file upload and accept image image slash star. So, it will accept the image, but we will not see the image thing now, but usually these are all the types. So, the name and accept are the attributes, common attributes that we will be using with the input attribute of file. So, the file upload box will like if we have to upload some file, then it enables the visitor to upload a file, to upload a local file. So, we can select a file from our local system and upload it to the server. So, this is also created using the element input. So, this is very familiar, we created check boxes, we created radio buttons, we created the passwords, we created the single line item, single line control items and single line text entries. So, with the same way we can have file upload box also, which we are going to see now. Okay. Input type we just need to specify as file. So, in the form I am going to say here to the top, I will go and say input type is equal to file and what else, that is all, maybe name we can specify, name equal to file upload and close this, and I will have a break statement here, line break. Now, I saved it, go to the browser and I refresh, then this has come. So, I will make few break statements to be clear. When I refresh, it is showing that choose file. So, here we can there is a button created here to choose file and it is showing no file chosen. So, I will click and I click on choose file, then it is showing a browser, the file browser. I can select one file and then open. So, when I open the file, it is the no file is showing, earlier no file chosen was there. When I selected a file, it is showing the file name. So, this is how we can have the file upload box. And then there are some button controls. So, a clickable button can be created by using input tag by setting its type attribute to button, and different types of buttons are submit, reset, button and image. So, submit will submit the form, and reset, this creates a button that automatically resets the controls to their initial values, and button, this creates a button that used to trigger a client side script where the user clicks that button, and image. So, this creates a clickable button but when we use an image as background of the button. Okay. So, the button controls a clickable. So, it is like a button which where we click. So, just now we have seen the file upload which is a button. So, like that this will also create another create a button where the mouse can be clicked, and the different options or different types of buttons are submit, reset button and image. So, submit actually submits the form to the so in the form to the form element there is an attribute called so what to submit or which class to submit or all these things. So, this will actually submit it to the backend or to the server, and reset button actually makes everything to the their initial values or the default values, and the button will run some script in the client side, and image will be like a button image. So, we can create an image also. So, these types of buttons will be there. So, these types we will see now. Okay. So, let us make it indentations correctly. So, let us have a few more input parameters, so that it will be clear for us. Input type is I will put as text, and name as I think text 1, and value I will not put anything here, or value is the value I will keep it as username. Okay, whatever it may be. Okay, does not matter whatever we give. Okay. So, now I created one submit button, one reset button and an OK button. Okay. So, here let us see what will happen. So, I am saving it. When I move to the browser and refresh, then after the username why did not come the okay, here I did not give the line break. So, let me give a line break also. Saved it, then move to browser, then refresh. It is showing 3 buttons: submit, reset and OK. There are some things. So, here if I submit, so actually we did not provide anything for submit here. Here it is trying to send, but there is nothing else to send. So, it is just refreshing the page, it is just getting the page again. So, this is all the page that we can show. So, and reset button, suppose I changed this username to user underscore name, and I selected maths and physics. So, control we need to press control and then select. So, I pressed control now and then pressed physics also, and then I chose I will choose a file good morning.jpg and open. So, that everything is changed. Now, when I click reset button, everything will be back to their default behavior or back to normal, and OK button is just OK. So, there is no action associated with it. So, this is just a button where we can we did not associate with any script. So, it did not execute anything. So, submit button will actually send one request to the same form with file upload equal to what, drop down equal to what. So, these are all the names. So, text 1 is equal to username. So, text 1 we changed it to username, and submit equal to submit. So, this is how it submitted the input to the backend, but actually we did not write any backend code or server side scripting. So, nothing got executed. Okay. So, this is how we can have the forms. So, there are some things which are hidden text or hidden controls. So, those things we are going to see in the next session, along with one example of HTML page. So, I am going to write one HTML page along with form which will contain a form, a background, and some text text modification we will do, and that thing I am going to explain and conclude the topic. So, the next session will be the last session. So, there I will be explaining about a full HTML web page. Okay, thank you.